Hello and good evening, and welcome to our special Equinox Light Language event. Equinox, the bridge, the crossing between summer and autumn, another bridge in our beautiful journey forward. And I used to find this equinox quite hard because I'd love summer so much, and the heat and the warmth here in the Northern Hemisphere. It was just wonderful, and the thought of crossing into autumn used to make me so sad, and it just wasn't something I'd cope with. I'd sometimes get quite ill because I didn't want to let go of the summer. Hello, gorgeous. And but now it feels different. This equinox has been and is being incredibly intense. And I'm sure that there are several of you who've just had trouble sleeping recently, may have had headaches. I think about 10 days ago, I was already starting to get headaches. This build-up has just been incredible. This build-up to another bridge, to another change, another doorway. And I've been showing so often how many doorways we've gone through. And as I've said previously on other events, but each one closes behind us. It's not as if we can ever slip backwards. We can never fall backwards into where we were, into not knowing who we are. We have literally risen so far. It's like trying to ask a flower to go back in the ground. It can't. We are the flowers. We are the ones who have stepped out and risen to face the light, to face the truth. And we can't be pushed back down again. It's too late. We have shown ourselves to be who we are. We've shown ourselves to be the light. And we can no longer deny our truth. And now we're at this stage, and it feels like we are pushing forward into another moment, into another doorway, another threshold that we are crossing. And it feels empowering. At least it's supposed to. So, as usual, with this intense energy, we can't always get the messages clear. So I sat down in a meditation earlier and asked, and I said, so what is this about? What is this threshold? Where are we going? And they talked about how previously in all these full moons and new moons that we have been through, and they've been mega. I mean, they've been so intense, so powerful. And in every single one, we have been pushed to let go of our stuff. All the surrounding, all the sort of traumas that we've carried and the difficulties and the stuff that we've just tried to drag through every single door. And every time we've moved house, we've tried to take all the boxes of our traumas and our difficulties with us and said, but this is me. These traumas make me who I am. And we had to learn the lesson that the traumas do not make us who we are. They are simply traumas that we have become addicted to, that we have wanted to hang on to because we think, we believe that this is what makes us human, what makes us us, rather than seeing the truth of who we really are. So all this shedding has gone on, and it's been hard, and people have been grieving, and they have been challenged, unbelievably challenged. But now the message I got was, as we've been asked to let go of our stuff previously, to clear our shit, now we are the pathway. It is us. We are the light that is now stepping forward. And it feels different. Previously, we had to clear ourselves in order to get onto the pathway. But now we are leading the way. We are the ones stepping forward because we have found our own legs. We have found our own empowerment, our own strength to be able to cross that bridge. It's a very different feeling. And this is partly why it's so intense, because as I'll come to the cards later, there is an element of self-responsibility, of self-empowerment, of knowing what we can do for ourselves. And, you know, I'll just read what I've written. It says, it is not as before, when it was our baggage that held us back from, I can't even read that, held us back. Now it is us. We have to be the change in order to step forward. We have to let go of all that we knew about ourselves and how limited we saw our dreams, how small we kept ourselves. It is no longer our baggage that is keeping us down. We are no longer buried beneath the weight of all our past, of all our stuff. We are now free, but it is up to us to make the choice. Now we have free will, we have complete free choice. And do we stand up and say, this is who I am, this is me in all my glory, and I'm going to stand proudly? Or do we still duck away? Do we still hide and cower and think I can't stand up? We are free now. We have dropped all the stuff that just didn't help us move forward. Now it is down to us. Now we are the strength. We have the strength. And they continued by saying, this is a bridge to empowerment, going from the dark forest and into the light. We came to believe that the dark forest was our home, told again and again that we needed to clear the dark forest. And this is a thing, this is where we have been kept for so long. We had to stay in this, you know, like in a fairy tale. Here was Sleeping Beauty, the prince who was stuck in this dark forest, stuck in the dark castle, fast asleep, surrounded by these trees. And we kept trying to say, but here I am in the dark forest, this is my home. If I want to get out, I have to plant all my seeds here in the dark forest. But how could our seeds grow when the sunlight never hit the ground, when the light could never get through this forest? But this is where we became trapped, always being told that this was our place, that we had to clear this forest in order to be able to step forward. Now, at this time, they turn around to us and say, we have another choice, and it's really simple. Step out of the forest. And this is the path. This is now the path. We can either stay. Some people want to stay in the dark forest. It's okay, they're not ready. But if we decide to stay in this dark forest, we can do. But we could also just make a choice and say, there is the path out. I'm just going to step out. I'm just going to go. I don't want to be here anymore. This is this moment of self-empowerment, realizing that this dark forest is actually of our own making, that we have placed ourselves there, that we have surrounded by ourselves with all the guilt and the shame and the denial of who we are, of our own light. And this path is now awaiting, and it says, are you ready to just step onto this path and step out of the darkness? And this is our choice now. If we're ready, we can do it. Like they said, if you plant your dreams in the dark forest, they cannot grow. They can't be supported. And it continues that we need to stand for ourselves and know that we are the supreme creators without guilt. This is now truly recognizing that our life is as we have created it. And again, this comes back to this element of self-responsibility. I created my life. I am so powerful that everything in my life I have brought in. And many people will turn around and say, I can't face that about my life. I can't face the fact that I created all this stuff, because look at it. Look at all the shit I brought in. But if we don't accept without guilt, if we don't accept that we created this, then how do we create something new? We can't. We become trapped within the guilt and the shame of thinking, I built this life. I sit here and I whinge about it and I complain about it and I hate it, but I created it? Yes, we need to accept that self-responsibility. We need to accept the truth that we are the magnificent and incredible self-creators of our own life and our own situation. And when we can do that, then we realize that we don't need to be trapped in the dark forest anymore, and we can just get out. Because I know if I created this dark forest, when I change my consciousness, when I change my heart, when I create this radical shift that this equinox is bringing, then I can simply create a pathway out of the forest and create living in the light. Our choice. We are now strong enough to do it because we have cleared so much. We have thrown away all the old clothes that don't fit us. We have emptied our address book of the friends who no longer suit us, and it can be painful because everything carries a memory. We hang on to everything because we think that we need that in order to continue to prove who we are. But we don't. Who we are is in here. I was chatting to a friend today about home, and I suddenly realised that I could be at home anywhere, because home is this. This is me. This is where I am. This is where I reside. I don't reside in a house. I reside in myself. And this is such an important step. We have to know where our home is, and then we become free. So this is where they were taking me. And they said, people often ask, and they say, when will the crumbling begin? We see crumbling all around us in the world, but they say, when will it happen? And I get asked again and again, when will we reach the peak? When will this crumbling really begin? And so I asked this, and they simply said, we are the crumbling. As we have broken down all our barriers, all our layers, the world has simply replicated what is happening within us. So the more we step forward, the more we create these incredibly powerful shifts within ourselves, the more this will happen out in the world. Because we are so intimately tied in. Because the world will simply be formed by our feelings, by our beliefs, by our energy. So believe it, we are the crumbling. We are sparking all of this. At one point we would say this is the universe coming down, and the universe is creating the crumbling. No, the universe just gifted us rather with an energy that we had a choice whether or not to step into. And because there are so many starseeds, so many light workers here, they wanted to step into it. And so the crumbling began, and now it is speeding up, and we are continuing this crumbling. We are fully in control, they said, of all that happens. The universe just offered us the light. We are the awakening. We are enlightenment. We are everything. Everything else is just responding to how we feel. And they asked us, they said, be empowered by your ability to create from your choices. Don't be scared by the ability that you have. Don't doubt it. Don't fear that you are going to create something horrible. You're going to create a monster. Why would you create a monster? Why would you have chosen to step into your own empowerment only to create a monster? These are the myths that they wrote about. These are the stories that we were given as children in order to keep us disempowered. This is what they did all our lives. But when we open our heart and realize who we are, and drop the guilt and drop the shame and drop all these man-made tricks that have kept us limited, when we drop all of that, then you start stepping out and you realize, I have this power. And because we are human beings, we are led by our hearts, not by our minds. We are led by our hearts, and behind that our souls and the connection to the universe. So why on earth would you then turn around and think, well, if I empower myself, I'm going to create a monster? You won't. Trust yourself And they remind me that, oh, let me just read this as it goes. I have sisters are doing some self-play in my head right now. Yes, we are. We really are. We are stepping up. And, you know, all these lies you've been given about you must stay small, you must stay weak, especially women. Oh my God, our whole lives, women have been told you must stay small. Your place is in the home, your place is to rear children. And yes, we do all this, but we can't take away our power. We can't just hand that over to somebody else and say, it's fine, I'll let the man do it all. We have an incredible strength. We are the birthers of energy. We are the birthers of worlds. We are creators of worlds. I think I've talked about before about Medusa. And she was one of a triumvirate of Egyptian goddesses who ruled over life and death and birth. But then the male Romans found her and went, let's make her evil. Let's make her an evil, vengeful woman. And this is what we've grown up with, these myths that an empowered woman, the sirens, when they sing their song, the male sailors will crash into the rocks and they will perish because a woman who uses her sexual power is evil. I mean, we could go on. Every single one of us could name a story where we have been denied our power. All because they fear us. So, there was a point there, I can't remember. But yeah, you've always had this strength. Always. But now we have to accept it. That part of the self-responsibility is accepting our enormous power of creativity and of creation. And I love this because then I was shown people landing on the moon, and they got this flag and they went, boom, it's in. And this is what they showed me, and they said, plant your flag and declare your purpose, your land, your intention. Plant your energy here and say, this is me, and I'm never going to give it away for anybody else. I'm never going to hide it from anybody else. And there are pop stars out there who go out there and they display their whole bodies, and they will swear and behave what's termed badly in public, and there's no shame, there's no guilt. It's like, hey, look at my butt, look at my boobs, and it's fine. And yet what we are asking is to stand for truth. We are asking to stand for light, for love, for joy, communication, togetherness. And we think this is shameful and that we need to hide that? Do you see how it makes no sense? The way some people flaunt themselves, and I'm using that in a 3D sense and not in a cruel sense. We need to flaunt our light, to spread it, to show it, to be proud of it. Flaunt your light. Show it to the world. Show people how beautiful it is to stand in light. Plant your flag of light and say, this is me. And also to say, this is my earth. This is my universe, because the universe, the earth, belong in light. Like all of us, every single person here belongs in light. And so let's flaunt this, let's show it to everybody else so that they can see and know truly who they are. He said the light cannot be meek anymore. Open yourself to the best of who you are. It doesn't matter who you are. There is no one colour of light that is better than another. No one shines brighter than another. We are all different hues of light. We are all different tones of light, but every single one is needed. Just allow it to shine naturally, without effort. in the best of who you are. And I know this effort thing. It's so easy to say, oh, I need to do more. I need to be more spectacular. I need to be... You don't. You just need to be you. That's all. What you're doing is exactly what you are supposed to be doing right now for this earth. And don't be cruel to yourself. Don't be mean. Don't bash yourself up because you see in your mind that somebody else is shining brighter. They're not. They're just doing their part. And we need to come back and remind ourselves that exactly what we're doing is what we are supposed to be doing. And if there is something else that we are supposed to be doing, the world will show us. The universe will show us, and we will be led. So never believe that you're not enough. You are more than you can ever possibly know. Just stand for yourself. That is all. And it said, focus on the light and not on your supposed crimes. The crimes that other people will have you carry. Mostly for them. They don't want to carry their own crimes, so they will pass them over to us by making us feel small and feel bad in who we are. They're not our crimes. Besides which, what is a crime? Someone asked recently on Facebook, they said, what are your worst vices? I thought, what is a vice? Who decided what a vice is? And actually, for me, a vice, a crime, is the moment when we put ourselves down. But that's it. There is nothing else. If something makes you feel good and you need it in that moment, then it's right for you. If you feel you need to buy your 1000th crystal, go for it. It's not a vice. It's just what you need in that moment. And then I asked, why is this equinox so disrupting to our sleep? It's disrupting our sleep because it needs to disrupt us. It needs to shift our thinking. It needs to shift our consciousness. It needs to take us out of the safe place and shock our consciousness to wake up and really look out into the world and go, this is me, and I'm proud of me, and I'm going to stand tall, and I'm going to be everything that I wish to be, loud and proud, and nothing else. So that's why it is so disruptive. It has to kick us, to make us wake up, really wake up, to make the decision about, do you want to step out of that dark woods? And very simply, yes, you do. It's just a choice. Make that choice. Make that radical shift in your thinking and in the opinions that you hold about yourself. It's time. This is the bridge to a new part of ourselves, a bridge to the new part of our consciousness, the awakening. Now, this week I decided I was going to choose different cards. And this comes from a lovely book, no, a lovely pack of cards, hello, called The Starseed Oracle. Can't remember how I found them, but I'm glad I did. They are basically light codes, all of them. And they're not the kind of thing that you can read, more you sit with the energy. And the first one that came up was, I asked about what is the equinox, what is the energy of the equinox? And it said the temple of Amethystia, tranquility, patience, and dissolution. I don't know if you can see that, but they're utterly, utterly beautiful. So there it is. Just have a look at it. I feel like I want to sit in the centre of it. Almost like on a dance floor and just be there with it. It's wonderful. And for once, I'm actually going to look in the book because they're so strong, these cards. And this invites us into a state of patient tranquility where we may more easily allow an alchemical dissolution of worries, stress, addiction, and unconscious self-created challenges, assisting in the calm release of concealed emotions, thoughts, and ego distortions. There are things that are creating, misconstruing truths that must be acknowledged. Yeah, things that we may be reluctant to see, but we have to take responsibility for our own perception of the world. I told you that word self-responsibility was going to come in. And it's really, really important. And then the other card is this one, dimensional planes of perception. Again, just feel the energy of it. It's quite amazing. It's incredible looking at them in reverse, actually. You see new things. So this one relates to emotional awakening. Okay, it is about fulfilling peace, awakening, replenishing and healing. Oh no, sorry, I'm reading the wrong thing. I can't actually read backwards. That's the problem, I read the wrong number. Sorry, mastery through accountability requires the owning of all one's choices and the resulting outcomes, bearing complete responsibility for our thoughts and feelings, and answering for all the actions taken without shifting the blame onto others or needing them to change. Isn't that incredible? Accepting all one's experiences as essential for personal growth, recognizing the totality of one's creations and how they're impacting oneself as well as the world, and the willingness to make internal changes necessary for advancement that will eventually lighten our mind and spirit. See, they fit perfectly. They're just, oh, they have the most incredible energy. But it's all about us now making the choice, stepping forward and going, I'm ready. So here's the question. Are you ready? Or is there still some fear in there that says, I can't do this? And a little bit of trepidation is normal. You know, we have walked through the dark forest for so long, and we don't know where we're going. We just know we're going into the light. But what will the light be? Who knows? It's going to be a hell of a lot better than the dark forest. But also because in the dark forest we were disempowered. Now in the light we are empowered. So as we start flexing that new muscle, yes, it can be a little bit unnerving, but it's the right thing to do. A little bit of fear, but not for what is coming, but where to go. Yeah, and we don't know where to go, but we're going to be led. I mean, if you look back and you think, God, what was happening in our lives 3 years ago, and how we have shifted and how we have grown. It's incredible. And we just rode that wave. You know, they keep showing me this massive wave. And it's not a crashing wave. It is this wave, we've got on the top of it. And now it just keeps going. And gradually one day we'll come down the other side. But this is the ascension wave. How long will it be? I don't know. We don't know. What I do know is that we can help the wave by standing up and being true to ourselves and empowering ourselves and creating this world through our own empowered light. So get ready for the shift, they say, because it's here and we are it. Now there's a ton of light language to come through. So we're just going to go for it. We are just going to go through, and it is going to empower us. It's going to enlighten us. It's going to bring in whatever activations we need. Они это пискику, мы же тут паратакасун то тужини бабара, но просит мурабарая, таракосикум бата. Мания, это надо продая. Не тут мара тут шкета, а жунтки, парам тут паранна, платицки сися. Мижу накрывала и так, канон баратецки, не чипа, потому что кореятор, шинчижиня. Мурабара тут тушечка, парада данжинде тысяч, чапара до тожга. Они тыма, синжистяра, мотобра, ута, жинника. А я поразна, да поразим бетети. Не ондан скоро. Мзнава, потому что не возможно. Только без его рары парабрискишка. Манендар мзундуза, тenya дарази, мурада параматази. Чинджу коросока дарази тijara матабасин. Варибарада тутушки цукура, ратански титиара маражун додосока. Это жижики варада марату пытасишен да марада. Парандускар, умтушки, парандатие. Нет, мези барабарада прототаши. Тинья, там бронзундуа сара, датеси. Ки морнар, братабрамнижия. Мена бретисиния, братабрату парашики шкура. Yani sinya, marapatan duskara da proshkundu koi aido maza bete marati parande para ai marapato paratitura. Sinchikuzo ke guai matasiba. Yunduzna maramanatesi, mindia mora maraparatesi, mindia bumburanda marapatotachi, kujikosa, chinja. Marabande diske, shindu buramatato suya. Tinja, beu aramatata, shuti juitu ramasi bieta manato baratata mora baratetishki. Mora jia india mia namarapaton totashika. Shinjuar, Najia, Marvatatura Nasa, Ajia Wai, Maratotodura Iske, Shundui Mora, the Mora Batata Tujiashu, Sukamora Dazia, Parapapitutosha, Shunkai Marabatas Mississippi Tutashi, Nimura, Mary Marabatomoko, Mayini Marabata Prakuta that Kajusko Mishuaya. Now Yem Areduzama, Mishide Wea. Merodondora barabraski kuski amaroja marabede debrashi shunja yemora mehiska. Just let that come in. There's a lot of light codes in there. Wishi pare bara kataluga yemeta si pieta pataria mara patato dichopto kisha ayemara para banavasisi. New doesn't Shunja Jibisian, but a new one, the Bashikit with the Tisha, Maura, and Tazi Tibisia, Niura Batati, Nia Nubura, the Kishugorata, Ayaramatazi, Sisanya Morata, Sia. They say we've been here before too, we've reached that moment in our evolution where you would have my Jabba, the Dujkis, Sukuta, the Chikuta, the Chikuta, in the Mashika, we yet the Marazi. When we have had to make the choice about our own empowerment, and we made it, and we are here to support you to make the same last choice. It must come from love. All things stem from love. Whenever you do anything from love, there is no danger, there is no risk. And the people who are now stepping up and stepping forward, they bring love, because this is why we came. We only came to the earth to bring love, not to destroy it. So you can trust yourself. You know within yourself that your journey forward is based on love. So whatever you do, it's going to be right. You may not see the consequences of it. You may not see the effects of it. But it stems from love, and therefore it stems from the right place. Never doubt your love. That is an old lie that you have been given. Trust what you're doing. Just trust it. Yeah, very simple. Trust it. Let's see if we have someone else joining us. Muhandia ta sa siya. Tuazishia, Kuishima Kawashika, Washinko Kazakosia. Chayosha, Shishasi, Mashi Watarkashosia. Shushasi, Masawashia, Kayoka Hisaka, Wakaki Yozokosaya. Shishai Samosaya. Tayu Asia. Mishasha gungasa, Yamusasa, Shija Yushasa Katasakashia, Yayumso, Aya Bayan Yasayatokoya, Shishai Muhasa Kayoto Mokajesia, Tatapatakasha Sua, Shia Mihati Kabakoshi, Yasakamasha, Yaziu Satadashi, Kayamuka Kawaida Katatoka, Matakosha, Kazakia, Najakabar, Katashia, Okasamatakakia, and you Tasna. Then you goes Kyo Tashkasha Mashwa, Dadashka, Kesiaka, Komokashwa, Sikata Kaya, Kotakasha, Mukasha. I shake it at Katkushko, Kabas, Ketokushkatake, Hotachupatakosakatakasha, Kotaka Patatasha, Katokapatasha, Shikuashanda. She taught us Saka Gamotaka Shikism. She diasmos, Tabakatachokoska, Shandiazad, Kosak. Jatokashasa Katapatakosha Kaskapatashka Patatashasa Shazia Yamasa Wahida Shasa Katabrakasha Hanjasaka Shanzabatuka Judukushkatamarakara Shaka Iskat Takatuputukashkas Shikadichkas Mashkawasa Katata Shatakabashasa Kamarakasha. I tell you, I don't know who is bringing this energy through, but I haven't worked with them before. They are very, very different. I see very small, very loving creatures, but I don't know who they are. They almost tell me they live in mushrooms. I'm not quite sure what that means, but they are here, and all this is here to support us. Everything is here to help us on this bridge, to keep us going forward, to say that on the other side is just peace. On the other side of this bridge, there is just beauty. As I say, it might be a long bridge, but we need to step over this bridge, to step out of the disempowerment and really stand for who we are, to be true to our own light. This is the time, this is the moment. And many, many more people will be called up, and purposes will be called up as well. We will be asked to go. Elemental energy explains the mushrooms. Oh, how lovely, your light language coming in. I say this isn't a light language I've ever channeled before, so it's great fun. Sounds a bit mad. But yeah, this is allowing the central column of light to come through, to really to flow down through that spinal column, to flow down through us, to clear the residues of old thoughts about ourselves. Christian, Kiscodaranja, Cosincio to Kishkismish, Catapacua, go and that Karuda de Karukapashi, Kitio, Shinju, Rajan Kazo, that Rigibita, Kuredi, the Namara, but the Rugun Garo, Kotomakarakaku, Shunkazara, Shinji, which put Paramasmara, the Tapashi. Hey, Morantia, Senator. You and the sea. Me hambo harakamorga guerra that is Kishiki Monotashki Washkana. Marandisimo. You don't know nothing, you don't know but I know but the bottom did tempora. You do that Javi and Botsikim, but you can get better to what is keeping all the kind of Kishikushun to Katazia. And yes, you bought and that asa. Oh, and yet that's sea. Meu Deus, que zunda que da karma te teaching que eu te parando to tatanya messi mania para para nem que tu maradondo te jin de di para 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 tonto torar que que coisa mais vaia chunchaska bera matara bezini que quando casa hindi ba para tutto nski shinji ami amora para na messima me da para pinna da para nanzima me da para nimmo para tandazima para para con tanta chiska ci duznya era te psi non casa a mia teramazi mundasia mundanziam mundan yebara patamadeshi kukara za tabrinjuto parashi shinchidora niatisa matani moda nianda onde te kiurenzasa shinjaya marata bajita Cinjudan ya marapata cinja, marapata tanna, marapata temur, marapata peki, marapata pinjikus kotasi, janda si dia pada, untiaja, endia bada dosha, shinja, kaimutasi, nimasia. Munda, aibeara tatasia, tijota kodakuta tatashika, nyasia. Mundasnia, tadesio. Jamia tia sikiata nasia taba, nieduzna, handiatasi. Nuaratasi, niadimatakasi, chunduza, nyaya paratesi, hamiatasiya. Butara, yagasia, muatata matia takesi, yonda zabara, tiandasi, yindotoshia, mudara mazeke baradiski, mundandashi, muawatasi, mundavayata keshu, shunda, dora, sinditeturantasi. Nyatizi mchada mudada mea roda shi tuta shnyakasi jadinmo yarashi muharbati jatasi muharbeja muradatasi ndasa mihianda tasi ushiwaratasi. Oh, I think that's it. Well, that was a lot of energy coming at the end. I think we will each have a lot of energy to unpack for ourselves. It's gone in, and the speed of the language is carrying so much energy. Each sound is carrying so much more, as though each sound needs to be unpacked and to discover all the energy that is in every single sound. And it's within us now. It's within our energy. It's carried in there. And bit by bit, this will all be unpacked so that we can begin to work with what arises for us. So, give it time. It was really powerful, wasn't it? That last bit was just... Okay, but give it time. Be nice to yourself. Drink. They tell me, please drink lots and lots of water. Really give yourself the space, the air. You know, don't sit in stuffy rooms. Go outside, breathe air, get the water in, get the sunlight in. Allow, as you said, Lorraine, allow these elements to really rise within you. And yes, as you said, to weave through us, to weave into our DNA, to weave into our energy. They have such deep work to do within us now. So give them the time, give the energy, the time, the support to do what it needs to do within you. Don't drown them out by, you know, ignoring them, by being in a rush. Give it all the time and the space to really create in us the shifts that it has to do. Okay, so go be at peace for the evening. Find that space, sit, meditate, look at the stars, sit on a rock, feel the earth beneath you, and connect. Oh, and thank you so much for your support, for your love and generosity, and just for being here with me. And I'm excited about where we're going. And the most beautiful thing is, I know I'll see you on the other side. We'll all be there. So I send you a million, a billion, a trillion light blessings. And I wish you, I don't even wish you a smooth journey, I just wish you a journey. I hope that makes sense. And we will see each other again soon. Keep shining beautiful lights. Keep being you. Much love to you all. Bye bye.